Well, a very good morning to you. We're at the Marino Beach Hotel here in Colombo for the Super Week. Sri Lanka Rugby, together with World Rugby, conducting several education and training programs over the last few days. Today at the Marino Beach Hotel is the Trainers and Educators program, and joining us is Van Rooven, originally from South Africa, now based in Dubai, who has been involved with World Rugby for over 5 years now as one of their trainers, mostly involved in the developmental side of the game here in Asia. Very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Can you just tell us a bit more about the program which is happening today, Ben, and what is your involvement in this training and educators program?
Okay, so as you know, we have a trainers, educators, and on Sunday we will have a level 1 course. So that's a super week is normally to get as many people trained as possible. That's why we call it a super week. So just speaking from a Sri Lankan point of view, that I've been involved with rugby development in Sri Lanka, and I've seen Sri Lankan get into rugby program grow exponentially over the last few years. So, and I've been to many practical sessions. We actually saw coaches coach, and I think we've reached the point now where there aren't enough coaches in Sri Lanka, aren't enough qualified coaches in Sri Lanka. So this is how the training and education supports development. So with a trainer course like this, so Sri Lanka will now have trainers who can train educators to train more coaches. So the drip down effect will be more coaches will be trained by local Sri Lankan people, and so for the future it's basically to meet the demands of the growth of the game in Sri Lanka, especially amongst schools, amongst areas where rugby wasn't played before. I'm talking about northeast areas that no organized sports was ever there. Sri Lanka Rugby Football Union has gone in there, and the kids want to play. So now we need more coaches.
Are you happy with the participation, the number of participants involved for this education and training program? Would you have loved to see more? And to qualify to do this program, is there a sort of a standard or a basis that people can enroll to do this course as well?
Okay, so firstly, as all of us know, that rugby is the big game in Sri Lanka. Although people may say cricket is the most popular game, but at grassroots level, rugby is the game that's closest to the heart of Sri Lanka. So yeah, so in terms of people want to become coaches, yes, there are so many. So yes, we will definitely get more people interested, and at the moment the union will get people on level 1 courses and people on level 2 courses to become better coaches.
Is it sort of you would love to encourage, I think, players who have played the game at that level to take up coaching, isn't it? I think that's where it has to grow from. Like you mentioned, in the outskirts or the outer parts of Colombo, there may be a lack of rugby and the knowledge of it and the sport being played. So it will be good if past players who have been involved that come up and take over the game and try to spread the word, isn't it?
So to be a good player does not mean that you will become a good coach. So you need the skills to become a good coach. So rugby in itself always has the ethos of giving back to the game. So it's a culture from the moment that a player starts to play, he knows one day he's not going to be able to play anymore, and then he would want to become a coach then. So these are the inspirational people, and now that rugby is growing so much, and Asia Rugby is supporting through equipment and so on. So yes, these ex-players, we need to turn them into coaches. The passion is there, so we need to give them the technical knowledge to go out there and coach confidently. If they coach confidently, children will stay in the game. If they go to a school and they look as if they know what they're doing, the principal will open the doors and say, please come again.
Are you happy with the development carried out across Asia at the moment? Since you have joined, maybe we say 5 years, in the last 5 years, how has the development in both men and women's rugby been across Asia?
So we're fortunate to be in Asia. We're fortunate that the World Cup is happening in 40 days odd in Japan. So with the World Cup in Asia, all of Asia got involved. Sri Lanka Rugby got involved very actively, growing the game in so many areas. So in the last 3 to 4 years, yes, we've seen an exponential growth. If you talk about growing the game amongst girls, you know, rugby's always been in Sri Lanka being traditional boys' game. But the fact that, you know, Sri Lanka has an under 18 girls team and there are girls playing, yes, I can see, you know, in terms of our numbers, 4 years ago we were under 200,000 youth players across Asia, and now we are 900,000, you know, and over the last 3 years we actually grew the game. We got over 1 million new players across Asia, which Sri Lanka is forming a very important part of it, because we know that they support. There's a lot of experienced ex-players who now become coaches.
How often does the World Rugby or Asia Rugby conduct development programs? Do you have to visit most of these countries and have these programs? What is the procedure and how does the structure happen, Ben?
I think our main aim is to invest in people, and so recently we had a Growing the Game conference in Malaysia where we had a representative from Sri Lanka there. So for her being at the conference, so her takeaways were what are the best practices across Asia, how can they implement it in Sri Lanka. I work closely with them weekly, monthly, have Skype calls with them, see how the progress is going, see how we can support. Training and education is one area that we can support, giving equipment and financing some projects that we think will ensure player retention.
Well, that is Ben for you, all the way from Dubai. You're of course highly involved in rugby, and that is your sport. But I'm sure you take a look at what's happening in South Africa in the cricket as well. I'm sure you have enjoyed cricket as well as a sport.
I did not enjoy the World Cup, if you're referring to that. No, I didn't. I was actually yesterday and the day before I was in goal, and I managed to see some of the cricket, Sri Lanka versus New Zealand, yes. But what I understand, and I think I've witnessed it, is that, you know, at a test match between Sri Lanka and New Zealand, let's say there were 2,000 people, but in Sri Lanka you can get 5,000 at a schools game. So yeah, so I still wonder which is the biggest game, cricket or rugby.
Yeah, so that is a debate for all our cricket and rugby loving fans. Thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy your stay here in Sri Lanka.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, this is my 4th time here, and I'll definitely be here next year. Thank you.